What's up, guys? Dylan Rush with Cage Side Press, joined today by Bellator lightweight, boasting a perfect 8-0 professional record, set to take on Pieter Buist at Bellator 301 on November 17th in Chicago, Illinois. King Archie Colgan. How you doing, Archie?
Man, I'm good. About 3 weeks out from the fight, a little over 3 weeks, but yeah, I feel good, man. On 1 point.
I saw Q was working on his ground and pound, man. Do we have like a fighter in the making already?
I hope not, but it seems like that's what his calling is. So I love being his role model. I love being the guy that he idolizes. It's just a cool job to have, to be the role model of your kid. But man, I hope he doesn't want to fight because it's a
Maybe,
roller coaster
maybe wrestle. But yo,
for
like
sure. Russell.
even just that like 15-second video, you could tell it's so cool to see. Like he idolized you, like he was copying every mannerism, everything you did. It was so
I
dope.
know. I
Uh,
know it's crazy.
I saw you a few weeks ago, Bellator 300. Grant Neal, your teammate, made the cut to middleweight. You made the
Yeah.
cut to lightweight from welterweight back in the day. You guys make it look so easy, effortless. What did you think of his performance, and how are you guys able to cut this weight so smoothly?
Yeah, man. I think Grant looked great. So I'll give Grant a pat on the back here, a little extra, because Grant's always been a big boy. He's never had to cut weight.
Hmm.
Even when he was doing 205, he's not cutting weight. He thinks he might try and say, he's got to jump in the sauna for 30 minutes and not eat breakfast on Wednesday, and that's cutting weight. But that doesn't count. That's not what it is. So this was I would say his first time actually cutting weight, and he killed it, man. The full 8 weeks, he was disciplined, got himself down, trended his weight down. And then, from what I heard, I wasn't there when he was cutting weight, but he killed that too. So big pat on the back to Grant for, doing weight cut the right way and handling it like a man should. He overcut though. I would drink a little bit before I just jumped on the scale to 183. But
I know.
yeah, I think a big part on why we're able to do it so well and so effectively is we got a great team behind us. We work on the same nutritionist. His name's Chad. He works for My Fit Foods,
Hmm.
and they're just a great nutrition company, man. They fueled us up. Me personally, since my last fight, like when the camp started versus when this camp started, I lost 7 pounds of muscle and put on, or sorry, 7 pounds of fat and put on 4.5 pounds of muscle. So and I've just been in that time. I've just been making sure to stay true to Landau's and working out there hard,
Hmm.
eating My Fit Foods, and I had a great supplement company with Alpha Country, and man, I'm just gonna be stronger, more shredded at 155 than I was last time, and
Hmm.
it's just awesome to dial it in, and it's a big prop and to these guys at My Fit Foods and Alpha Country and sponsors and partners of both Grant and I.
Shout out Landau Performance, shout out Alpha Country, and especially shout out My Fit Foods because they posted a video of me last night asking Grant Neal about his weight cut, so that was pretty cool. Uh,
Yeah.
and he looked like a dog out there. I had to tell Scott Coker after the freaking event, I was like, "Yo, Grant Neal looks like a dog at middleweight." Uh, you guys visited University of Wyoming recently. I don't know, was it you, Grant, maybe Justin Salas? How was that? And what was that like?
Yeah, it was fun, So I thought that I was also going to be fighting on that card with Grant. So I was like, man, this would be a good way for me to kickstart my camp. Just go up there and get some hard wrestling rounds and some really really high elevation. It's higher than Denver. So Denver is 5280, Laramie is 7220. So real high elevation training and just get pushed by some of these 20 22-year-old hardcore living wrestling guys.
Mhm.
So that didn't end up being the case for me. I didn't get to wrestle, but in that time that I was doing that, I was like, man, Grant's about to wrestle, or he's about to fight a good wrestler. So I gave him a call. I was like, hey, me and Styles are going to go up to Laramie in a couple weeks. If you want to come and join us, we get 2 good days of wrestling in, just let me know. And he jumped aboard and he went up there and killed it too. So that was a fun trip, man. Those are like one of those little trips that just like subtly gets put in there, but you'll just never forget it. Like it was fun.
Mhm. It seemed fun. I got 2 people I wanna ask you about, and then, of course, we're gonna get straight to business. We're gonna talk all about you. This is an interview
Yeah.
with you. I wanna ask you about Kamaru Usman. Of course, you're
Yeah.
very close to him, one of your primary training partners. It seems like the whole world, maybe I'll speak for myself, were very impressed by his performance, even though the result didn't go his way. He took the fight on 11 days' notice with a guy like Kamzat, and he showed out, in my opinion. I was wondering what you thought of that performance.
Man, I thought, yeah, I mean, I still think I was just talking to one of my coaches yesterday about it, man. I think like that guy is Kamaru is still skill wise, he is still the guy that he was 3 years ago, 2 years ago. Like, I don't think he's diminished in any skills. Unfortunately, like if the situation was a little bit different, let's say that he put his hand up and he just blocked the head kick at 50 seconds. He goes on to win 49, 46. He probably goes and fights Bilal shortly after that and then beats Bilal. And then Izzy's no longer champion. And then he probably just bumps up and double champs against Sean Strickland straight up. It's so much different. So his skills have not diminished at all. I still believe like before he's retired and moving away that he'll capture gold again. Like I still do believe that, whether it's at 85 or 70. I really do believe that, as skill for skill, he's still that guy.
Mhm.
So it's unfortunate the way it turned out, taking that fight 10 days notice against Hamzat. Man, sucks. Can't give up the round like that in a 3-round fight, that first round. Um, but yeah, I thought he won the 2 rounds after that, 2 and 3. I'm clearly biased, but I thought, a takedown with 30 seconds left in round 2, not doing any damage on your feet and getting bullied around a little bit across the cage. I don't think that was enough to win the round. And then in round 3, he got a takedown against the cage, didn't land any damage, got damage, landed on, got back up, and then got land damage back on again in the last 30 seconds. I thought that was enough to win the round. But I also kind of figured that if they went to a really close decision, that they would edge it towards Hamzat because he's the rising guy. They're trying to push him a little bit. So it's unfortunate, but yeah, man. I mean, like he said himself, he posted on there himself. He dared to be great and fell a little short of it. I still think that he will be champion again before he retires. Just like I believe the sun will come up tomorrow.
Mhm. Definitely. I don't know if I'm biased, but I judge fights. I don't know. Everyone judges fights differently. Based on how I would judge a fight, I would give him rounds 2 and 3 too. Like round
Yeah,
3, definitely round 2. Round 3, it's a little bit closer in my opinion, but he did so much more damage. He was leading the way on the feet. He gets taken down and he doesn't get any damage taken on the ground. So, and they're supposed to say, they say damage is primary scoring. So I don't know, but
yeah.
yeah, commend him for trying to be great, of course. And then the last guy I want to ask you about, another guy that was there in Abu Dhabi, Mr. Justin Gaethje. He's calling for that next lightweight title shot with Islam Makhachev. He might have to, see if Charles is there. And maybe him or Charles. What do you make of that situation? You want to see him get that title shot early next year?
Of course. Again, that's another one. I'm just biased in for sure. But yeah, I think yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and say that Charles doesn't deserve it. He got really shafted in getting cut by a training partner. I don't know how you get cut that bad, you know, 2 weeks before the fight. Like, my goodness, what was the dude doing? Headbutting him, throwing elbows, throwing knees? Like, that was a bad cut. No. So I feel for Charles. I'm not going to say that he doesn't deserve his title shot, but I do think Justin deserves his title shot. So if that means that Justin gets it straight up next, or he gets the winner of those two and he has to sit a little bit longer, I think that he doesn't have to go fight somebody else like I don't know who else would be in line really, a Gamrot or something like that. I don't think that makes any sense for Justin, not at this point. So he comes off a knockout on Dustin Poirier, who was the number 2 guy at the time, and Justin was 3. So I don't think he needs to fight backwards. He already fought backwards to fight Fiziev. He proved himself there, came and beat Poirier. He's sitting in the spot. So I think Justin is either next or next. He needs to wait, maybe. And but yeah, I think his next fight needs to be for a title. And ideally it'd be against Islam, because Islam and him have not fought. But I think he likes to get his revenge. So maybe it's Charles, and that'd be cool too.
Dana said after the fight that he believes it will be Charles, but we know how fast things change in this business. Gaethje and Islam, fresh matchup. They haven't fought yet. I think that would be a great fight. I also love Charles Oliveira though, so I would love to see it either one. You're a few years into this fighting career, Archie. Do you still love it as much as you once did, as much as you did when you started?
Yeah, I love it more.
Love it more.
I love it more than I just when I started. I love it more every day. I love all of it. Like I love as much as I dislike getting tired at practice and pushing myself. Like I've now come to find the joy in it. Like before it was just like that's what the work is. You got to get tired. You got to push yourself. You got to go hard. You got to do these things. And now, like when I get there, like I almost put myself when I get super tired in practice. I put myself at the end of a fight, just getting my hand raised or about to get my hand raised, knowing that I had won, and that feeling of happiness and smile that I get before we go to the center and they raise my hand. Like I put myself in that situation when I'm super tired in practice now. So I find a lot of joy in it, man. It's been real fun, and I've just been growing every day and just taking this journey day by day. And yeah, it's been great.
That's great to hear, man. Speaking of joy, you recently received your blue belt under the great Peter. What did that moment mean to you to get rewarded for all this hard work you put in, all this dedication to your craft?
Yeah, man, I was kind of surprised. I think it was well deserved. I've been pretty consistent to jujitsu for since I met Peter, like 2 years or so. Maybe a little bit longer than that. But yeah, man, like it was cool. Like I didn't expect it for sure. We were sitting there. I didn't even know he snuck off and grabbed a blue belt because we were literally sitting there together the entire time. And then I went and rolled like two live goes. And obviously there is when he grabbed it. But I felt like he was watching my goes the entire time, but he must have snuck off at some point. And then, he gave a nice speech before that. And then somewhere in there, I was like, "Oh dang, he's talking about me." And then he called me out, and I was like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." So, yeah, I'm happy with it. I'm proud of it. But that's just a testament to the work that I've been putting in consistently. Personally, I'm not sitting here holding my blue belt high and mighty because I've been subbing brown belts and black belts for years now. So I'm not sitting here holding and praising my blue belt. I want a gold belt. So blue belt's cool, but I want that gold one.
Oh, I thought you were about to say black belt. You said gold belt. Yeah, that's good. Yep, that's the belt
Yeah,
to go for. They say Peter Straub, he's known to be stingy with his belts, giving them out. So, I mean, you're clearly doing something right.
yeah.
You said something to me in June, right before your fight, on Fight Week. I want to read the quote real quick. Just let me know if you have any thoughts about it, if you still feel the same way. You said, I've had some adversity I had to deal with and challenge myself into my career. I continue to grow up every step of the way. 21 to 2023 have been great for me and has been great, but I'll say 2023 to 2025 will be better. Still feel
Yeah.
that?
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
I feel like I'm knocking on the door right now, man. I'm not I feel skill wise, I'm there. I'm right there to be that guy. But I think I'm just missing a little bit of time. Like especially with I don't know what's going on with Bellator and selling, not selling. I don't know what's gonna happen. I hope, if you ask me, I hope that they can stick around for another 12, 18 months. And we could really sell 20-0 Nurmagomedov versus 13-0 Archie Colgan. And that will really hit. I really believe it. But I might miss it just by a little bit of time. But no matter what, whatever happens there, I think that my 23 to 25 will still be super successful and much better than my 21 to 23 for sure.
Mhm. I think everything happens for a reason. The stars are gonna align. It's gonna work out however it goes with Bellator. I have to ask, since you mentioned it, of course, this is not in your frame of focus right now. You're fully focused on this fight. But if Bellator, of course, the rumors circulating, if Bellator and PFL were to merge, is that something that might excite you? Some new blood. There's a bunch of lightweights out there. Shane Burgos, Clay Collard, a bunch of other guys. Is that something that might, get your juices flowing even more so? And $1 million, of course,
Yeah,
season.
yeah, they got the $1 million prize every year. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, that would be cool. Obviously, I'll just go back and sit down with my team and discuss like what options are to be looked at and kind of how it looks. But yeah, I mean, those guys are also exciting fighters. They're good. They're veterans. They've been doing it for a long time. Um, but I don't think like those matchups excite me any more than the ones in front of me. Like,
Yeah.
I'm number 10. Look at the guys that are above me. I got a lot of these guys that are just like in the same field that they are. They're veterans. They've been doing it for a long time. They got these uh counted records, 20-4, 25-3, these big ass records. So they would add to the list, but I think Bellator would be adding much more to the conversation than PFL did.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Damn, man, you got me excited for you versus Usman, man. I want to see that fight. And of course, there's so many others. You got Tofik, Musaya, Patricky, all of these fights. You're right. You really do have a whole lot of potential fights there. So you're fighting in Chicago again. What is this? Your third straight fight in Chicago? What is it about Chicago that attracts Archie Colgan?
Shoot, I don't know, man. I think they know that I like to eat and they got good food. So
Uh, and this guy, Pieter Buist. What do you know about this guy? I think he's 17-6, I think maybe. What do you know
yeah,
about this guy?
something
What
like
makes
that.
him a good stylistic matchup for yourself? I know he's very tall.
Yeah. Man, I think that they offered me him and I said yes right away. I don't think it was specifically like this is my money easy matchup. I was just like, yeah, let's do it. I haven't turned down a single fight that Ali has sent to me.
Mm.
Except for one. The one time they sent me Hamill, and I was like, bro, this is
Really?
like the only guy that I was like, this is literally the only guy that like I'm friends with outside of fighting.
Yeah.
You know, like we've known each other before either one of us were fighting. So me and Hamill behind the scenes talked about it, and we're like, let's do it later in the career if that has to happen, or it doesn't make any sense for us to do it right now. So shout out Hamill for that, and Bellator for understanding. But yeah, I think this guy, I think he's a good kickboxer, I guess, and he attacks from the guard. I think he's a decent fighter. I think he's also become a fan of mine. He follows me, comments on all my stuff, likes all my stuff. Yeah, man, the guy is, he's a fan of Archie Colgan, I think. So that's cool. But whatever it is, he's gonna see in November, and it's gonna be a good night for Team Colgan.
That's so funny that they offered you Magic Mike, man. If there's more money down the line, more money or a title on it, then of course maybe you say yes. But at this point, yeah, you guys are great
Doesn't
friends.
make it. There's
Yeah.
like there's like 20 other guys that either one of us can go fight, and they did. Then they sent Montalvo to me and Brown to him, and we were both like, perfect, thank you.
Yeah. How could you possibly match or even outdo the celebration, the Triple H celebration in November, man? I don't think you can.
Man,
Personally. I'm doubting you. I'm doubting you in this one aspect, man. I don't think you could. I don't think you could top that.
oh man, I don't know, but we'll think about it. I don't know. Sometimes these things come to me on the spot. The Triple H one I had planned for a while, but oh man, let me think about it. Maybe doing the same celebration at a bigger stage because the Chicago one's gonna be big. That's gonna be a
Oh,
big fight.
yeah, the crowd in
Uh,
Chicago is dope.
yeah. So
I
we'll
was
see. I don't know, but I got something. I'll have something.
All right, last time I knew the Triple H celebration was about to go down before it happened. Maybe this time you surprise me, or even if you
Yeah.
do it again, bro. I'm not against that. That's a good celebration. Uh, have you decided on your corner for this one? Are you keeping it the same? Any differences? Any changes?
Just a little different. I mean, so I'm just bringing along my wrestling coach with me. He's been in my corner since I was an amateur. Well, not in my corner, but he's been um, behind the scenes running the wrestling practices since I was an amateur. So Ben Charrington is his name. He's also the wrestling coach for Justin and Kamaro, and he's coming out this time in exchange for Grant. But Grant is always, he's in my corner just like I'm always in his corner, whether we're physically in the corner or not.
Mhm. Hopefully he's in the crowd. Maybe you can make the trip. Uh,
Yeah.
Speaking of that, man, you just let me right into my next question. How beneficial or important or how good is it to have that fight week camaraderie when you have guys like Grant Neal there on fight weeks, Bryce Meredith, and as we mentioned, Magic Mike Hamill?
Man, it's fun, and especially like, I'm hearing back because they're over in San Diego together for Bryce's fight and Grant's fight, and Grant's telling me, Grant really doesn't know these guys except for the connection to me, and he's telling me, he's out there and they're talking to each other like, they were teammates. And so it's pretty cool, like, that we've built the two of them, the two of us over here in Bellator doing things up. And we've built a good bond. For me and Mike, it'll be all 3 fights in 2023. We were on the same card together, every single time. Chicago twice and Temecula. One of those Bryce is on, and then the other one, Grant and Bryce were on mixed together. So it's like, every time that we fought, we always saw each other. So it's been a good camaraderie. It's nice to go into fight week and know that, some people that are also going through the same process at the same time, same emotions, dealt with it. But at the end of the day, like, it's still, you get that like sigh of relief of seeing a friend when fight week arrives.
I'm posting a video today actually of me and Bryce and Magic Mike. We went on a bike ride earlier in the
Yeah.
fight week. We ran into Grant, and they were calling me the honorary Archie, bro, because you weren't there for that. So they were calling me honorary.
That's what's up.
What's your favorite fast food chicken spot?
Ooh, fast food chicken spot. Man, like chain wise, I'd probably say I'm a Wingstop guy.
Okay.
But there's this spot out here in Denver. It's called Outlaw Wings, and that place definitely. I go there almost after every time I fly back to Denver. We go straight there every time.
They know your name at Outlaw?
What?
They know your name out there in Outlaw Wings?
They probably don't, man. I just go in there subtle. I just go grab some wings. I'm like, don't judge me. I'm grabbing a 30-piece, man. Don't grab it.
I got 5 yes or no questions for you, then I'm gonna let you get on with your day. 1, will Pieter Buist bleed in the cage on November 17th?
Yes.
Will Justin Gaethje secure UFC gold before it's all said and done?
Yes.
You told me that. Are University of Wyoming wrestlers the toughest SOBs out there?
You're darn tootin' right, brother.
You sound like Bryce. Does J-Bomb Justin Salas still throw bombs in the practice room?
Nah, he doesn't anymore.
I knew he did.
He shows bombs. He shows the bombs getting thrown. He shows how to properly throw these bombs. But
This is how you throw a J-Bomb.
Sometimes I have to pull him off to the side and be like, hey, if he gets a little frisky, starts trying to wrestle people, hey, I need him. Don't hurt him. Leave him alone.
Will Archie Colgan reach 25 wins in his professional career?
25 wins. That's a lot.
It's a lot. You could say no. That's
25. I mean, sure. If I make it that long where I'm at that doorstep, yeah. Mm-hmm. But 25, I'm trying to math real quick on how many fights per year that is.
Well, if you win this one, you'll be 9-0, so it'll be 16 more wins. So like 3 wins a year for 5.
Yeah.
I think
that'd be like averaging two per year for 8 years. Yeah.
I think you got that. All right, I'm gonna let you go. I don't have another question. I need a little statement real quick, a message to the supporters, the fans out there that have been with you every step of the way. What you gotta tell them?
Oh man, thank you guys for the support and the love. It means a lot. I work endlessly to make sure that I put my best foot forward every time I step in that cage. I've done that this camp also. I'll do it every time I step out there. You're gonna see a better version, like I said, stronger, faster, and just every time you get into a camp, for me at least, I feel like I level up. A lot of people say out of camp you level up, and then in camp is just getting in shape. Man, I feel like every camp I level up mentally and physically. So you're just gonna see that this camp or this fight, and just stay tuned. In November 17th, 9-0.
It's crazy because you say you love your supporters, but on November 17th, you're going to be trying to beat up one of your biggest new supporters, Pieter Buist.
Well, biggest fanboy, shoot. Oh man, sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do.
Mm-hmm. Archie, I gotta tell you, man. You tell me that I'm getting better or whatever, this or that, but you get so much better with each interview, man. This is my 7th one in the last 24 hours. This is the best one. I'm telling you right now. I don't know if I'm gonna cut this part out or not. I don't want them to see it, but this is the best interview out of the 7 for sure, man. So thank you. I appreciate it.
Hey, let it be known. Like, don't cut it out. Let these guys know. Like, you guys step your game up. You can't just set up an interview while you're driving in the car and expect that to be a good interview. Set up the time, 20 minutes aside, sit down, and make it professional. If you're a professional.
I did a car interview yesterday, so that's a fact.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, man.
I'm sure you
Thank you,
did.
bro. I'm gonna see you in a few weeks in Chicago, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, safe travels, bro.
Be good. You too, brother.
Later.
Later.